Welcome to the Ad Expert Podcast.
Glad to be here for this one.
So imagine spending, I don't know, $50,000 building the most beautiful, welcoming luxury boutique in the entire world.
Oh, yeah. Like velvet couches, brilliant lighting, the works.
Exactly. You've got top-tier products and incredibly knowledgeable staff just, waiting by the register to help people.
Sounds like a place I'd want to shop.
Right. But then you take that magnificent store and you drop it directly in the middle of the Sahara Desert, like hundreds of miles from the nearest highway.
Yeah, so nobody is ever going to find it.
Nobody. And the crazy thing is, that is exactly what thousands of businesses do on the internet every single day.
It really is.
Yeah.
They build these digital ghost towns.
They totally do. And that is why I'm so excited for today's deep dive. We are unpacking a stack of materials straight from the team at Ad Expert.
By the online marketing and web development agency.
Yeah, they've been in the trenches for over a decade now. So we're looking through their agency playbook, their service breakdowns, and this really eye-opening article.
Yeah, the one by their founder and marketing strategist, Sam Ashrafi.
Exactly. And our mission today is to answer a question that, well, it sounds simple, but it is fundamentally misunderstood across the whole digital marketing world.
Which is, what is the exact difference between content marketing and SEO?
Right. Because for you listening right now, whether you're trying to scale a highly competitive local business or you're just insanely curious about how the internet's invisible gears turn, this deep dive is going to clear up so much confusion.
It really will. Because mixing those two up is usually the exact reason a company's digital growth just entirely stalls out.
You see it all the time, right?
Yeah.
Marketing directors treating them like they're just interchangeable buzzwords.
Oh, absolutely. Or, they treat them like entirely separate departments that literally never speak to each other.
Which is wild.
Yeah.
So we're going to look at how businesses actually get found online without sacrificing the human connection that makes a customer actually want to buy something.
And the materials we're looking at today, especially Sam Ashrafi's piece, which is titled The Synergy of Content Marketing and SEO Strategy, they really dismantle that whole idea.
The idea that you can just choose one over the other.
Yeah, exactly. They're two completely distinct disciplines, but they totally collapse without each other.
Okay, let's unpack this, because I want to push past the usual jargon here.
Let's do it.
Let's go back to that boutique in the desert for a second.
Okay, the luxury store with the velvet couches.
Right. So if content marketing is the interior of that store, the couches, the helpful staff, the product displays, is SEO simply the system of paved roads and billboards you build afterward to get people to the front door?
Well, see, that's a really common shorthand. But the Ad Expert methodology pushes it much further than that.
Oh, really? How so?
Because SEO isn't just the street signs you add after you build the store. It's actually the architectural blueprint that dictates where the store should be built in the first place.
Oh, wow. So it's way more foundational.
Exactly. It dictates what the store should even sell. Like, content marketing is the human element, right?
Right. The stuff people actually interact with.
Yes, the tutorials, the case studies, the deep dive blog posts, the stuff that educates a user and builds genuine trust.
It provides undeniable value to your target audience.
Yes. But SEO, search engine optimization, that's the technical machinery behind the scenes.
Like the invisible plumbing.
Exactly. It's the keyword research, the page architecture, optimizing meta descriptions, building internal and external links.
So the trap that businesses fall into is thinking they only need one side of that coin.
Yeah, they assume great writing will just magically find an audience all on its own.
Which goes back to the desert analogy. Great writing without SEO is just a beautiful store in the middle of nowhere.
It will literally never rank. It's totally invisible.
Right. But then on the flip side, some people think a really well-structured website full of perfect meta tags can just make up for thin, useless content.
Oh, I see that constantly. And if you have SEO without valuable content, you've basically built a massive, highly visible network of neon street signs.
Pointing to what?
Pointing to an empty dirt lot.
Oh, man. That is such a vivid picture.
Yeah. There is nothing there for the user to actually engage with once they arrive.
You've basically brought them to a frictionless experience of nothing.
Exactly. You made it really easy for them to find a useless page.
Okay, so that makes sense conceptually, but looking at how these two things actually intersect in the real world, it brings up a major tension.
Oh, for sure.
Because, we've all been victims of this. You go on Google and search for a simple solution like I don't know, how to fix a leaky faucet.
Oh, I know exactly where you're going with this.
Right. And you end up on a page that forces you to scroll through 2,000 words of robotic, repetitive text.
Yeah, like the history of faucets and modern plumbing.
Yes, exactly that, before you even get to the actual answer you needed. So, if the two have to coexist, how do you write for an algorithm without completely alienating the human reading it?
Well, you're hitting on the exact reason why old school SEO tactics are actually destroying modern brands right now.
Wait, really? Destroying them?
Oh, absolutely. But the Ad Expert playbook addresses this head on by completely abandoning the old concept of keyword stuffing.
Okay, good. Because nobody wants to read that, so what do they do instead?
They rely on a data-driven approach using what are known as semantic keywords and high search phrases. And it's all driven entirely by search intent.
Wait, let's break down the mechanism there. How does a semantic keyword differ from what we used to see?
You mean where a web page would just awkwardly repeat the exact same phrase over and over?
Yeah, like pasting best plumber 40 times in one paragraph.
Right.
Yeah.
So think about how Google's algorithm has evolved. 10 years ago, the algorithm read like a toddler.
A toddler? How do you mean?
It was just matching exact shapes. If you
Wow.
wanted to rank for the word apple, you had to show it the exact word apple as many times as possible.
Right, it couldn't infer anything.
Yeah, exactly. But today, the algorithm reads like a detective.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, it understands context now. It knows that if your article is about Apple, but it never once mentions semantic-related words like iPhone, Steve Jobs, iOS, or Silicon Media, you're probably talking about the fruit.
Oh, I get it. So you don't need to jam the exact target phrase into every single sentence anymore?
Precisely. You build a constellation of context around the topic instead.
Okay, and that ties directly into search intent, right?
Yes, because the algorithm's ultimate goal is to figure out what the user is actually trying to accomplish in that moment.
Like, what is their actual problem?
Right? Are they looking for a quick transactional link to just buy a specific tool? Or are they looking for a really deep informational tutorial on how to use that tool?
So if your content genuinely answers that underlying human question using natural related vocabulary, you win.
Exactly. You satisfy both the human reading it and the algorithm ranking it.
And the primary vehicle for building that bridge, at least according to the sources, seems to be consistent blog posts.
Yes, but definitely not blogging just to hear yourself talk.
Right, it has to be strategic.
Exactly. The text highlights how AdExpert uses blog posts very specifically to capture long-tail keywords.
Long tail keywords. For the listener, what exactly does that mean in this context?
These are longer, highly specific search queries. They might have a lower overall search volume than a massive broad word, but the people searching them are heavily invested.
Can you give me a practical example of how that actually changes a content strategy?
Sure. So say you're a sports retailer. Trying to rank globally for the single word shoes is a complete waste of time and money.
Because it's just too broad.
Way too broad. The search intent is totally muddy. Are they looking for dress shoes, snow boots, pictures of shoes? Who knows?
Right.
But a long tail keyword might be, what are the best trail running shoes for flat feet?
Oh, wow. That is incredibly specific.
Exactly. The search volume for that is way lower. But the person typing that into Google is looking for a very specific expert answer.
And they're probably ready to pull out their credit card and make a purchase.
Exactly. So by writing a highly informative, natural-sounding blog post that answers that exact question, you build immediate trust with the reader.
While also signaling incredible relevance to the search engine.
You nailed it.
It's fascinating because it requires blending two very different skill sets. I mean, you need the empathy to understand the customer's pain point
Right.
and the data crunching ability to know exactly how they are typing that pain point into a search bar.
It's a tricky balance. And the text specifically points to Ad Expert's team handling this balance. They mention Asan Appelvadi.
Right. He's their expert in SEO and analytics.
Yeah. And his whole focus is ensuring the content continuously meets Google's shifting backend requirements while remaining completely engaging for the reader.
It really requires absolute synergy.
It does, but there is a crucial next step that we have to look at.
Okay, what happens next?
Well, even when you achieve that perfect balance, when you've written a piece that the algorithm loves and a human actually enjoys reading, you can't just stop there.
You can't just hit publish and relax.
Definitely not. If you just leave it on your website hoping for the best, it's still highly vulnerable. You have to force the internet to actually pay attention to it.
Here's where it gets really interesting. Because when we look at the distribution and amplification side of the Ad Expert playbook, it moves way beyond just having a nice website.
Oh, they go much further.
Yeah, they integrate social media strategy and advanced AI technology. And it's not just using AI to churn out generic, boring blog posts.
No, not at all. They use it for customer targeting, personalized marketing campaigns, and real-time analytics.
Let's look at the mechanics of that amplification, starting with social media.
Okay, so obviously posting your content on social platforms drives direct traffic.
Right, and it builds brand awareness.
Sure, but the hidden value is how it creates a feedback loop with your SEO strategy. I like to think of it as digital echolocation.
Wait, digital echolocation, walk me through that.
Okay, so when you push an optimized piece of content out onto social media, you are basically sending out a ping.
Like a sonar ping.
Exactly. And then people engage with it. They share it. They comment on it. And most importantly, other websites might link back to it as a valuable resource.
Oh, I see.
So when search engines see those backlinks bouncing back to your site, along with high social engagement, it tells the algorithm something important.
It tells them real humans are actually validating this information.
Exactly. It's a massive signal of authority.
Yes.
And that pushes your content higher in organic search results.
So the social media strategy is actively feeding the SEO machinery.
They feed each other constantly. And when you inject AI into that feedback loop, the efficiency just goes through the roof.
How does AI change that process?
Well, Ad Expert utilizes AI to process vast amounts of user data, right? This allows them to figure out exactly who those social media posts and paid campaigns should be targeting before they even launch.
That's wild. And the sources mention that they pair this AI targeting with real-time marketing insights and live tracking.
Yeah, they describe it as giving businesses a bird's-eye view of their campaigns.
But let's ground that for a second. What does that actually look like for a business owner on like a random Tuesday?
Okay, well, historically, marketing was a game of delayed reactions. You would launch a campaign, maybe an optimized blog post, some Facebook ads, an email blast.
And then cross your fingers.
Pretty much.
Huh.
You'd wait 30 days to look at a static report,
Hmm.
and only then would you realize you just spent half your budget targeting the completely wrong demographic.
Which is an incredibly fast way to burn through cash.
Oh, it's fatal for small businesses.
Mm-hmm.
But with live tracking and reporting, the dashboard is updating constantly.
So you see everything as it happens.
Exactly.
Mm.
You can see in real time that a specific semantic keyword is suddenly driving massive traffic from LinkedIn, while your Facebook ads have, like, a 90% bounce rate.
Oh, wow. So because you have that immediate visibility, you can pivot on the fly.
Yes. You pull the budget from the failing channel and pour it straight into the keyword that is catching fire.
You are making decisions based on active human behavior, not historical guesswork.
Exactly. It's a total game changer.
That level of agility is incredible. It really highlights how dynamic this whole process is. But I want to pivot here and actually challenge the premise slightly.
Okay, I'm ready.
All of this talk about global algorithms, massive semantic networks, and AI-driven personalized marketing. I mean, it sounds absolutely essential if you are an e-commerce giant shipping worldwide.
Right.
But what if you're not? What does this all mean for a brick-and-mortar shop? If I'm running a local bakery or a roofing company, I don't care about global internet traffic.
You really don't.
I only care about the people living within a 10-mile radius of my front door, so what do I do?
That is the most important distinction to make, honestly, and it's where the Ad Expert strategy becomes highly tactical.
Because all that massive data is useless if it's entirely irrelevant to your service area.
Precisely. What's fascinating here is how their agency specifically takes this complex global ecosystem and shrinks it down to dominate hyperlocal markets in the Los Angeles area.
Because the goal isn't to rank globally for roofing company.
No, the goal is to rank for roofing company near me when someone is literally standing in their flooded living room in the valley.
Yes, exactly.
The mechanics of the strategy remain the same, but the application changes entirely. Instead of focusing on broad industry terms, they deploy localized keywords.
And what does that look like practically?
Well, the playbook heavily emphasizes the optimization of Google business profiles.
Oh, that's the little map pack you see at the top of search result, right?
Yeah, when you look for a local service, it's those top 3 map results. Dominating that involves constantly updating local reviews, geotag photos, and localized Q&A sections.
The text actually grounds this by listing out their specific service areas. They are deploying these strategies in places like Woodland Hills, Calabasas, Winnetka,
Right, Tarzana, Encino,
Sherman Oaks, West Hills,
Reseda, Burbank, and Van Nuys.
I mean, that is an incredibly dense, highly competitive corridor of Los Angeles.
It's brutal. You do not win a market like Sherman Oaks or Encino by guessing.
Because a local plumber in that area is competing against, what, 50 other plumbers on the exact same digital block?
At least, to dominate those specific neighborhoods, the sources show that AdExpert relies heavily on deep competitor analysis and aggressive A/B testing.
Okay, let's dive into that A/B testing mechanism. How does an agency actually test a local market like that?
Think of it as the scientific method applied to marketing.
Okay.
Let's say they are running a campaign for that exact plumber in Tarzana. They won't just build one landing page. They will build two versions, version A and version B.
To see which one works better.
Exactly. Version A might have a big hero image of a smiling team standing in front of their van, right? And the content focuses heavily on family-owned trust.
Okay, and what about version B?
Version B might have a really stark, simple image of a clean, repaired pipe. And the content focuses entirely on 247 emergency speed.
And then they just split the local traffic between the two pages.
Yep. They split the traffic, and they let the live tracking analytics decide the winner.
Oh, that's brilliant.
If the data shows that the residents of Tarzana click the Call Now button 40% more often on version B, they immediately pivot the entire campaign to match that exact intent.
So the content itself is tailored specifically to the local search intent.
Always. A blog post for that plumber isn't going to be a generic history of PVC pipes.
Like the faucet article.
Right. Instead, it's going to be a highly targeted article about dealing with the specific hard water issues found in San Fernando Valley homes.
Wow. It brings all that high-level AI machinery right down to the neighborhood level. It's not about vanity metrics at all. It's about driving actual phone calls and foot traffic.
It forces the digital architecture to serve the local reality.
So synthesizing everything we've looked at today across these AdExpert materials, it becomes incredibly clear that the original question of content marketing versus SEO is basically a trap.
It's a total trap. They are two halves of the exact same engine.
Right. Whether an agency is building a custom Shopify site for a massive brand, or running complex Google ads, or just writing a hyper-localized blog post for a dentist in Burbank, sustained success requires both.
You absolutely must have the human empathy, the trust, the education, the pure value that great content provides.
But that empathy is entirely useless without the technical precision of SEO.
Exactly. The semantic keywords, the site architecture, the A/B testing, that's what actually delivers that content to the person who needs
You
it.
cannot have the beautiful store without the roads, and the roads are meaningless without the store.
Perfectly said. But before we wrap this up, there's one detail tucked away at the very end of Sam Ashrafi's article that completely reframes where this entire industry is heading.
Oh, I saw that. At the bottom of the piece, there's a list of unanswered FAQs. They act almost like teasers for future deep dives.
They are great hooks. He lists questions like, what is the 3.3.3 rule in marketing?
And what are the 5 C's of content marketing?
Right. But there's one question in that list that feels much heavier than all the rest.
Is SEO dead or evolving in 2026?
It's a really provocative note to end on, especially considering everything we just discussed about the rapid integration of AI.
It changes the entire paradigm, and I think that is the perfect thought to leave you, our listener, with today.
Definitely.
As AI systems become exponentially better at instantly understanding human context, generating direct answers, and personalizing targeting on a hyper-granular level,
Right.
will that strict line between content and SEO eventually disappear entirely?
The huge question.
Will the digital street signs just magically build themselves around whatever valuable, beautiful store you manage to create? It is something to seriously mull over as you analyze your own digital footprint.
For sure.
Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into the AdExpert playbook. Keep exploring, keep questioning the mechanics of the internet, and we will catch you next time.